Hello, friends, and welcome. For those of you who follow me regularly, I am snowbirding for the winter, except for down south just means I'm about a mile southwest of where I was living. So I'm going to try filming in here, and hopefully that works out for me. And then while I'm here for the winter months, I can just film in this cozy little nook instead of that big, vast, white church space, which I love. But for filming, I think this will be more pleasant. So anywho, welcome. And if you don't follow me, you just learned a whole lot about me. Find yourself in that upright posture. Last week we started to play with this idea of bringing our awareness into both our buttocks bones as well as the crown of our head. Right? And I'm going to call those 2 points, even though I know you have 2 buttocks bones, right? I'm aware of that, but that's 1 point for our exercise today. Every time you inhale, right, I want you to think about those 2 points gently expanding away from one another. And then when you exhale, you can check into those other areas of the body. And if you're holding tension, release tension. If you're feeling tenderness, pain, numbness, whatever that might be, right? So on our inhales, our awareness is in our buttocks bones and the crown of the head. We expand those places away from one another, almost like a balloon being inflated. Right? And with our exhales, just noticing anything else in the rest of that physical body. And, take in anything else from that holistic body that you would like at this point, or that you notice, not that you would like, maybe you notice something you don't care for, but we're still noticing it anyway. And of course, there's that beautiful practice of accepting ourselves where we're at this exact moment. And then you can leave your eyes closed for this first part. I want you to imagine that you have a canvas just a little bit above your head, a blank canvas, and that you have a paintbrush or a pencil or some such thing from the crown of your head up to that canvas. And where the point is right now is the center point of a figure 8. And when you're ready, go ahead and start to draw. And that's not just visualization. You're going to actually move your head. You're visualizing the canvas, maybe the medium you're working with, what color it is, etc. You can visualize all that stuff all you want, but actually move the head as if you were drawing that figure 8, that infinity symbol. And when you're back in the center, pause and then try to retrace and go back the other way. We usually have one way we tend to go first, whether we're aware of it or not. So if you found yourself not knowing, try to just go the other way of what feels, I call it the awkward way, right? It feels a little more awkward. And then go ahead and come on back to center. Now you're going to let your head go from right to left. I could see your right ear to right shoulder and left ear to left shoulder, but again, working with that visualization so we get a little more out of the body, so to speak. Just draw a line. You can imagine that that canvas is domed, if you'd like now. And you're drawing a line from right to left according to your body directions. And then coming back to center, you're going to draw a line forward to backward. I could say chin towards chest, chin away from chest, right? But again, then get out of that thinking about where your chin is, where your neck is in space, and go to that image above you, that visualization of the canvas, and drawing that line on that domed canvas. And then draw a circle. That'll be the last bit here in our neck. Draw a circle the other way. Come back to center. And actually, I lied. I want to do one more thing. Now I want you to imagine that your chin has, if it's helping to think of drawing, right? Something moving straight out from it forward in front of you. And take your chin and draw a circle on a canvas in front of the chin. Or just circle your chin if that visualization doesn't work for you. Gentle and slow. And going the other way. Just starting to wake up the joints in the neck, yeah? It's cold here in Walla Walla these days. And coming back to center. So we're just going to wake up some joints. Take your shoulder blades. You can open your eyes if you'd like. And start to circle your shoulder blades. Maybe starting a little smaller and getting bigger and bigger, whatever that is in your body. Never to a point of pain. Go the other direction. And then as you start to go the original direction, starting to get the upper back involved, you're going to go ahead and start to move the upper back into cat-cows as you circle the shoulder blades. See if you can find that. And then switch and go the other direction. And again, let the upper back, and you know the neck, whatever wants to get involved, but just meaning think about the the upper back moving, and other things will follow. And then go ahead and bring your shoulders a little up, a little together, just a little bit, baby, a little down, and settle them in the Goldilocks, right? Now you're going to go ahead and you're just going to simply move your elbows a couple of times. Then we're going to get more specific with it, trying to move joints through ranges of motion and through the motions they're capable of, right? So now you're going to let your arms come up, turn your palms to me, move them down, turn the palms forward, move them up. Turn the palms forward, move them down, turn the palms forward, move them up. Now keep the backs of your hands to me, move them down, turn the backs of the hands to me, move them up. Turn the backs of the hands to me, move them down. You get where I'm going? You get what I'm laying down, right? And then the next time they're up, you're going to leave them up, right? Keep your fingertips on your shoulders, move the elbows in circles. And then we're going to take this into the rest of the spine. Go ahead and let one elbow move back and start to move into a little bit of a twist through your upper body. Elbows could stay lower. You could leave the hands on the thighs if shoulders are not digging it, right? You can turn the head and look back so you bring that cervical spine into the twist with the rest of the spine. I go slow so I don't get too dizzy. And then you're going to switch it and go the other direction. And again, I'll look back first. You don't have to, but it's an option, right? And then I'll go ahead and I'll look forward as my elbow comes forward. Okay, bring the arms down and move from side to side. And then if and when it feels right to you, that top arm, we've been playing in this way lately. Lately being, oh gosh, this one's been coming in for like 5 months or something. Next time you're to the right, stay there. Maybe you take that arm into a little bit bigger of a circle. The ribs can rotate and move with that. Gentler version would be hand on shoulder, elbow circling, yeah? Go the other direction. No pain in shoulders, you monkeys. I love you so much. And then stay overhead, right? Reach the left buttocks down, and one more time, just lengthen out that left side waist, and then whoo, boop, over to the other side. And if it feels okay, remember fingertips could be on shoulder, and you could work just the elbow. You could work a smaller range of motion if you have, say, a torn labrum or something going on in the shoulder, frozen shoulder. Other direction, potentially. Working, being honest with yourself, right? I'm really working with that a lot in my own practice. And doing the work that is honestly my body's work. And then the next time you're overhead, you're going to pause, right buttocks down, lengthen, 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 pew, coming up. Let's get off of this block. We're actually going to come up to standing. I'm going to take my sakis off. Okay, so from standing, have your feet a little wider than hip distance. And again, imagine that there's a canvas underneath you. It can be the ground or high or whatever, right? Whatever medium you want. Take those hips into a figure 8. If you have sensitive knees, I'd put a little bend in the knees. Even if they're not that sensitive, it can just be nice to give a little space to the knee joints here so we don't hyperextend or bother them in any way. Go ahead and go the other direction, which is always a little bit of a mind trip, right? I've gotten fairly smooth with it, but boy, when I started doing that, whew. And come on back to center. So now you're going to let your hips just bebop from side to side. Try not to let one hip move a little forward or a little back when you do that. And I'm differentiating because we're going to do something different in a little bit, right? Now move over to the right and then move the hip a little bit back and kind of do just a semicircle. So it's kind of what we're doing in the figure eight, but we're pushing into it just a little bit more to try to open the outer buttocks, and then come up and then bebop your hip to the left. And this way we get hunter spottings potentially. And then go ahead and again, I'm just going to kind of do like a little, not even a quarter of a circle there, and just kind of move through that outer hip. And come on back to center. Bring your feet in, and you're going to bend your knees and move them over a little to the right, straighten them a little to the left. Don't hyperextend. My hyperextenders, you can always keep a nice soft micro bend if that's you. And then go ahead and go the other direction. And we'll get into the ankles in a little bit in a slightly different way. And then come back to center. And from there, we're going to go ahead and move into a little bit of balance work. So actually, I take it back. I do want to do a little ankle thing right now. So you can either, just keep your toes, I'm on my left foot, my right foot is upright, and I'm going to go ahead and just try to circle, or you can lift the leg and circle through the ankle. Let's just say hi to them briefly here before we move on. And then bring that down, and again, either on toe, ting, 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 toe top, or lifting it. Either way is just really wonderful, right? And go ahead and go the other way. And put that down. Okay, now we're going to go into some balance land. So find yourself sitting nice and tall. And I'm turning my back because I want you to see my heels in case that's helpful. I'm going to lift my right heel up and bring it down, and lift my left heel up and bring it down. I'm going to lift my left heel up and bring it down, and lift my right heel up and bring it down. Now here's the balance. Right heel lifts, keep it up. Left heel lifts, and then right heel comes down, and left heel comes down. You don't have to do the arm motion. I'm trying to show you what my heels are doing. Left heel comes up, right heel comes up, left heel comes down, right heel comes down. One more time. Right heel up, left up, right down, and left down. Remember, the more you put it in the ball mounds of the big toes, left heel up and right heel up, the more you're going to find balance. Left heel down, that's the outer leg line and the abductors. Right heel down, that was last week's work, right? Or no, 2 weeks ago, sorry. Okay, so from there, now we're going to lift both heels at one time. So you're going to try to find nice and steady, and then slowly lifting the heels, hugging the outer ankles, the outer hips. Find the pelvic floor from last week. Maybe the arms reach up, maybe they do not, maybe they stay down, or hands on hips, hands at heart. There's all kinds of options. And then try to keep the heels up, she says as she falls, as you bend the knees a little or a lot. Back up, and then slowly lower the heels down and bring the arms down. I got one more challenge in that vein. You're going to work where you need to work from today, and remember, there are always walls and things nearby you can use for support systems, right? There's nothing wrong with getting support. I don't know why we've grown to think that. And I come from that school, by the way. It took me a long time to accept help, even longer to ask for it, even if that meant a wall. And we're going to try and lift them simultaneously. Hug those outer ankles in, push through the ball mounds of the big toes, right? Tone the pelvic floor, outer hips, the corset. That's been the past month of work. Arms wherever the heck you want them, yeah? And then try to bend the knees a little bit. And then come up to standing. One more time, try to bend the knees a little or a lot. Now you're going to try to keep the knees bent, straighten them, and try to keep the heels high as you start to come into a forward fold. Yeah, and you see how wobbly I am. If you're looking at me, don't feel like you have to look at me, just meaning like, yep, you betcha. Bring the heels down, bend the knees a little bit, bring your hands down, soften in. Grab your elbow points.
Bend the knees enough that you can, as if you could lay your ribs on your thighs. That's not available for all bodies. I know that, but as if you could. And the point we're trying to get to is where we can soften the spinal column, let the head hang, let the arms hang, and move into traction for the spine. You can always shake a little bit, hips, shoulders, head, if that's going to help you release muscles that are holding. Put your fingertips on the ground. Walk your feet to the center of your mat. Right ankle in front of left, mirror image toes, and reach that right heel down any amount. Letting that outer left hip open. Hip, thigh, wherever you're feeling it, back a knee. Unwind. Let that left foot move over, right? And softening down and in, that left heel moving towards the earth. Never has to be on the earth. And unwind. Feet hip distance. We're going to go ahead and we're going to come down into a squat. Maybe the arms lift up and maybe you come low. Maybe the hips stay higher. And then reach the buttocks up as your hands come back down. And again, buttocks come down. You could always do wide-legged squat if that's a better line for you for any kind of knee joint pain, etc. Right? But I really like this one because it really works that line of the knee in line with the second toe, those neutral legs, which, most of us tend to not do that much. And then we're going to bring our buttocks down to the earth. You can do shin drop, shin drop. I've taught that before. One more thing here, and then just a few moments of stillness. If it's available, right ankle in front of left, getting tall and starting to fold over the legs any amount. Right? I personally really enjoy rocking a little bit from right to left, just to start to wake up that whole back body. And then we're going to move over to the left, reaching that right arm forward and away, hopefully opening the right side back body for y'all. And then go ahead and walk over to the side and start to circle. And you can bring hands on thighs, or they can, come to the ground when necessary or whatever that is. But just take a couple of circles this direction, right? And then come back to center. Put the other shin in front. Get nice and tall. Starting to fold forward wherever your hands want to go is just great. Maybe you stay up higher, right? Again, be honest with yourself. Start being honest with yourself and do your work. What's going to be the most beneficial for you? Not what you want your body to be able to do or look like or anything, but what it is. Accept it for what it is. I sure am trying with my body. Maybe walking over to the right, that left arm forward and away, breathing into that. And then we're going to keep going over to the right. And again, hands can come up on body or not. Thighs, they can be out to the side. But go ahead and just take a couple of circles. And then come into an upright posture. It can be just like this. I've shared many times that for me, kneeling is better for my pelvis and my right hip, particularly in a pattern that tends to go up to my shoulder and down to my knees. So I'm coming up. I'm coming out. Get nice and tall. Just notice. We were just here about a little over 20 minutes ago. Has anything changed? If yes, what? And begin to learn to articulate that. There is no right or wrong. Bring those hands together in front of your chest. Inhale. And as you bow that head in and exhale, taking a moment of gratitude, you gave yourself the space and time that we have these amazing bodies that these souls live in. I'm amazed every dang day. Yeah. Namaste, friends. And thank you for joining me in my winter digs. Again, I'm going to try and do more video from here if it works out all right. Thanks, friends. Have a wonderful day.